Week 6 in the books. League is really starting to take shape. We got the good teams solidifying themselves, the mid teams solidifying themselves. We got a couple folks being left behind in the dust. But pretty low-ish, I guess, scoring week across the league. We had one team break 130. Everyone else was below 130. Obviously, I had a stinker of a week. So a lot of fun games across the NFL, but honestly pretty low scoring from a fantasy perspective. We'll get into all of it like we always do. But first, let's hear from our winner of the week for the second time in 6 weeks. So that does mean that in 6 weeks I've won twice and Omar's won twice. So everyone else needs to step their game up. Omar, what went right this week? Tell us. Tell us. Tell us.
Oh, didn't see you down there, Alex. All the way at the bottom of the standings. My bad, gentlemen. All right, fellas. So, someone walked in while I was recording that last video. Then I had to go do a bunch of shit, and then I forgot to record the rest of it. And I just got home, about to go to bed because it's 8:45 and it's my bedtime. I had a whole thing planned out where I was going to call Alex shit. But, I mean, he's shit. He is shit. But I'm going to save it because I'm pretty confident that I'll be top scorer again. So, I'm not going to say anything bad about Sammy's team because I've got it pulled up on ESPN right here. I mean, the guy came into the week playing my team who didn't have Justin Jefferson, didn't have Travis Kelce, and then Cole Kmet and Lazard combined for 50 points. Like, it's unfortunate for Sammy. He scored a lot of points too. Sammy knows I'm his biggest fan. I love his team. Nothing bad to say about Sammy's team. I have bad things to say about a lot of the teams. But my boys did good, I'm proud of the boys. Derrick Henry, by the time you see this, will he have moved on? Possibly. I'm sitting on a trade that's been offered to me that has been verbally agreed upon. But I can't get the balls to actually say accept yet. So we'll see what kind of goes on there. Rest of the team it doesn't look good on paper. Even when I'm looking at last week's lineup with 151.8 points on the bottom, it doesn't look good. It doesn't inspire confidence. So I understand the hate, but hold my dick. I'm top scorer twice out of 6 weeks. It's like I'm that guy. And there's just nothing anyone can say. The one thing I will say is that Jared will not keep getting away with it. And I know the rest of you guys are panicking, but I'm telling you this right now. He will not get away with it. You look at his team. He might as well rename his team high ankle sprain because that's all I see when I look. Jaden Daniels, high ankle sprain, week 13 max. Saquon, DeAndre Swift, Mike Evans. Dude, this is an injury report, honestly. This team will not be alive come playoff time. He is going to crash and burn, and the only thing that's going to happen is that either me or Stern or Jack Caruso are going to send him our best players on accident, and we're going to stand strong and not do that this year, boys. So anyways, drag this out a bit, so we'll give it back to our Commander-in-Chief, Jared.
So it looked like he had something very elaborate and funny planned out for us, and then he had to go save some lives. But, he's a doctor. What can we expect from our friend out west, huh? Yes, Omar, 151.8, the highest scorer this week. He beat Sami by 30. I think Sami was the second highest scorer. So, unfortunate for Sami this week, for sure. You made some great plays. We'll get into it in a little bit, but we got to hear from the loser of the week, which, to add insult to injury, was against me, which I know upset the league greatly, that Stern played someone who, one, did not play, and then played Khalil Shakir, who wasn't supposed to play the whole week. Also played the Seahawks defense against 49ers when he had the Steelers defense on his bench. A lot of questionable decisions. And it was against me, so obviously that upsets everyone even more. But Stern, what happened? We're seeing your face again, second time in 6 weeks. What's going on?
Team Renus Petard checking in. As you can see, I'm too stunned to speak. I'm at a loss of words. Things are going so horribly for our team. And I don't have the answers of why. Nico Collins out for the year. Is he out for the year? No, not out for the year. But he's out. That hurts a lot. I also played two guys that didn't play by accident. I actually have no excuse for that. I don't know how I didn't not do that. I also played Seahawks defense, I think against the Giants. Or were they playing? No, against the 49ers. And they sucked when I should have played the Steelers. But other than that, my team is kind of ass. But I got Caleb Williams, and he played well. So that was cool. And I heard Jared say that I was supposed to lose by 60, but I only lost by 30. So that's good. That's all I got. All right. See you guys.
Lovely hearing from you as always, Stern. I did tell him this. My favorite part of that video was that Stern, I think, genuinely doesn't really know what's going on with his players. The cameraman, whoever it was, had to tell him the extent of Nico Collins' injury, had to tell him who he started on Thursday night. Just doesn't really know what's going on. Maybe if you change your team name to something a little classier, you'll get some more results. But yes, 2-4, I believe. Let me double check that. 2-4, bottom of the standings. Lowest points for in the whole league. Not what you want to see for sure. But that's what happens. That's what happens. And I did offer to take off one of your injured players off your hands for you for a non-injured player. So don't say I wasn't trying to help. Don't say I wasn't trying to help, huh? But we'll get into the recap like we always do, and then we'll get into some predictions. So we'll start with our best matchup of the week, which was Omar and Sami, the number 1 and number 2 scoring teams this week. Omar came in a little depressed, thinking he was cooked. He was going to trade away his whole team. The season's over, and then he ends up dropping 151 on Sami, sending Sami to 2-4. Even though he is top 4 in scoring, Sami sits at 2-4. He was led by Derrick Henry with 25, Cole Kmet with 24, 2 touchdowns. Lazard caught that bomb. Every single person on his team had at least 11 points. Slayton had 11. The Bears defense had 11. Kirk Cousins had 12. Tony Pollard's looked great. He had 17. So really was able to get it done with Kelsey and JJ on bye. Crazy to think his best 2 players didn't play this week. He was the highest performer. Kudos to him. He managed the heck out of that waiver wire, picking up Cole Kmet and Alan Lazard. So Omar, props to you. Sami, definitely unlucky. You literally would have beat every other person in the league this week. But Dak's just not it this year, man. 3 points from Dak, 7 from DK. He had he had like 2 touchdowns called back from flags and everything. Marvin Harrison Jr. was 0. Obviously, that sucks a lot. Malik Neighbors didn't play. Dobbins looked good. He had 18, so you're welcome. Kittle and Debo obviously looked great with 22 and 20 each. And Dave Montgomery and Breece Hall also with 21 each. So he had a great play with the Texans defense as well. It was a solid week for Sami. It just wasn't enough to get it done. He ran into the best player this week. Very unfortunate for Sami. Omar gets he'll say it was a much needed win. He was 2-3. I think he had lost 2 straight, so he needed it. He's in 3rd place now. That was a huge game. Both these teams were 2-3. Omar jumps up to 3rd. Sami drops all the way down to 8th, even though he's top 4 in scoring. He's got a little unlucky this year, and he's likely going to be without Rashid Shaheed potentially for the rest of the season. He's getting meniscus surgery tonight. If it's just a scope, he'll be back probably. But if he's doing a full jump, medical people, full restoration, I don't really know. He's done for the year. So that sucks. He's been awesome this year. But unfortunate for Sami, he loses some of his depth, but he did get Demario Douglas off the waivers, which was a great pickup. Okay, our next matchup, Noto and Char. This was a decent matchup. Noto's team is very, very solid now. Ever since he took all of Jack's good players, I think everyone can say that he's one of the better teams in the league. 124.4 to 117.8. Baker with 25 off the bench, which is very funny because Jack traded for Lamar. Baker actually outscored Lamar this week, so very funny. Bijan finally gets it going. He's got 25. He had to pick up Ty Johnson off the waivers with James Cook being out. Probably should have went with Ray Davis looking at the matchup, but it was a Ty Johnson revenge game. He only had 3 points. Darnell Mooney disappointed with only 6. Jamar with only 12. Trey McBride looked awesome with 17. Tank looked to really shine in Nico's absence. He had 18. JSM with 10. Raiders defense was an interesting play. The Raiders defense is not very good, but Noto went with them anyway. 4 points. Takes down Char. Gets a 7-point win. Char. Team is just... He really needs Jonathan Taylor back. Like, that's really what it is. Jonathan Taylor is his best player. He lost by 7 points. He had to plug in Javonte for Jonathan Taylor. You think if you're Char that Jonathan Taylor gets at least 11 points, which would have been 7 more than what Javonte scored, which is enough to get him the win. He really has no running back depth, and that's been his kind of downfall. Obviously, he gets Kareem off of waivers if JT is to miss some more time, but unfortunate that Kareem's bye was during this period where we really needed him. Josh Allen looked very good, 24 points. DJ Moore got stopped on the goal line for a touchdown. That was a bummer. Bummer for Char. Jaden Reed, actually, he was projected for 14.8 and got 14.8. You rarely see that from ESPN, so that's pretty on the money. Evan Ingram looked awesome in his debut. I think he caught the ball like 10 times, fumbled once, but still 18 points to take from your tight end. And Zay Flowers was just doing whatever he wanted against the Commies secondary. Not good. He originally tried trading Log for Amari Cooper. Obviously, wouldn't have mattered this week because Amari scored less, but Amari to Buffalo. I still think Zay Flowers is probably the person to have right now. And then Lad McConkey in his second flex. Little disappointing. Chargers defense was fine. I mean, 117. Pretty mid this week. Like I said, not a lot of points across the board. Only one team above 130. So this was a big matchup for both these teams. Char drops to 3-3. He's in 4th place. Noto, I think, gets his 2nd win in a row. Actually, it might have been his 3rd win in a row now that I'm thinking about it. So he's 3-3. He's in 6th place. He's a dark horse. He's the one to watch. So it'll be interesting seeing how he performs in the second slate of the year. You know, we're 6 weeks in. So our next matchup was Sean and Jack. This was never... I don't really think anyone ever thought that Jack was going to win this because his team's a trash can right now. Cowboys defense with -7. That's not good. I don't know why Jack started the Cowboys defense, but maybe he'll start him again this week with them on bye. It'll be better than what they got for him last week. He did have Cortland Sutton in his second flex, but he just traded him back to Omar, so I guess that 2-week little trial period. Neither managers liked what they saw. They didn't like what they brought in the locker room. Calvin Ridley, obviously, with 0.9. That's not good. Romeo Dubes was on the bench with 19.9, and 19.9 is better than 0.9. I will say that. Laporta was worse than McBride, which makes sense because McBride's better. Jalen Tolbert disappointed. Dowdle was disappointing. Wandale a little disappointing. Joe Mixon was really his only good player. Lamar is obviously good too, but Joe Mixon with 27. He's gotten like 25 or 27. The 2 weeks he's been healthy and played, so he looks really good. It's just the rest of his team not great. He does get Devontae on the Jets now, which obviously is huge for him, and he'll probably get Brian Robinson back this week. So his team this upcoming week should, in theory, be a lot better than how it's looked over the past couple weeks, but 2-4, 9th place, not a place you want to be if you're Jack. Sean, 4-2, 2nd place. Just really firing on all cylinders right now. Ramondre being out didn't matter. Tyreek was on bye, didn't matter. J Love with 25, Josh Jacobs with 12, Kamara with 17, Diggs with 19, Scary Terry with 23, Kenneth Walker with 20. You have to be a fool to trade away that guy. Colts defense with 5. Jerome Ford got hurt, exited early, and then Tucker Kraft came crashing down to earth after his 2-touchdown game last week. But Sean was still top 3 in scoring this week, 128. Like I said, it was a low-scoring week. He gets the win. He's 4-2. I believe he is the... Yes, he is. He's the lone 4-2 team, so he's in 2nd place. Jack loses another one, drops 2-4. He's in 9th. Okay, this was a fun matchup. Sky and Log, 121 to 119. Being in separate group chats with both of these folks, just getting to watch both of them freak out and complain that nothing goes their way is awesome. Sky single-handedly whined himself to a victory here after Log taunted too early with Garrett Wilson, got cocky. The Jets defense got him, lost him some points, and he ended up losing by 2, which was probably the funniest thing that could have happened. I mean, I think Sky's team is better than Log, so I'm not going to say he didn't deserve this win, but you know, his tight end and his RB1 combined for -0.1 points this week. and he had Chris Olave on his bench. So if he would have started Olave, you would have had 3 players combined for less than 1. So he made the right decision benching Olave. Deontay with 19, he's been great with Andy Dalton back there. Godwin was obviously the wide receiver 1 in the week with 35. CD was 16, then Najee breaks a long one, gets in the end zone. Never a doubt with Najee. Never a doubt. Jalen with 21. Broncos defense disappointed with 2. But, yeah, Sky gets a much-needed nail-biter victory. 121 to 119. Log. The Cardinals stink. Going the Kyler, James Conner stack. I was not a fan of it at the beginning of the year. I'm not a fan of it now. Kyler looks atrocious. Jordan Mason obviously gets injured, leaves the game early. If that doesn't happen, Log probably hangs on the win. Garrett Wilson looked great. A.J. Brown looked great. Brock Bowers looked great. Bucky looked great. And then Amari looked as good as he could with Deshaun Watson as quarterback. Not for long. As we all know, he traded the Bills. So both these teams are now sitting at 3-3. Sky is in 7th. Log is in 5th. I want to pull up my prediction tracker before I forget. So I hit all of it. I think last week I went 4-1. The only game I got wrong was Omar's game. Yeah, the only game I got wrong was Omar's game. I'm 1-5 on all Omar's predictions. Can't figure him out. But yeah. I won't harp on my matchup with Stern too much. Pretty gross all around. He only scored 71. About 30 of those points are from Caleb Williams. Chuba was good with 15. T was good with 14. No one else above 10. Zamir White didn't play, so he scored 0. And then the Seahawks starting with -2 on Thursday night. That was hilarious. Zach Moss looks to have lost the starting job to Chase Brown as well. So Stern's team really doesn't look good. It's tough. It's definitely not what you want to see. I scored 106. This was my worst week of the year. I had Tyrone Tracy in over Mike Evans because he always does bad against the Saints, but I couldn't pull the trigger. Definitely should have. Jaden Daniels and DeAndre Swift were my only players that really played well this week. They both scored above 20. And then Drake London had 19. Omar had 13. Everyone else was single digits. So 106 to 71. I get a win that I definitely did not deserve, but I will not apologize for because a win is a win. And yeah, I'm 5-1. I'm in first. Stern 2-4 in 10th. He's the lowest scorer in the league. So that's that. Let me get my predictions pulled up for this upcoming week. Week 7. All right. We're going to start with Char and Omar. Char's about a 3-point favorite. It looks like Omar is starting Kirk over C.J. Stroud, and he's got Allen Lazard in still, so he could potentially swap him out for Jacoby Myers, and that would make him a favorite in this game. I'm just going by the numbers here. Tony Pollard's been awesome this season. That was a great pick by Omar, I'll say it, especially with Tajay Spears getting hurt. Derrick Henry is the RB2 on the year. Devonta looked good. He caught that long touchdown. He gets JJ back, which is great for him. Kelsey obviously looking much better with Rasheed being injured. I think Lazard's basically a garbage can now that Devontae's in New York, but we'll see. I don't know what Omar's going to do. I'm assuming he's going to take him out, but again, I don't really know with him. This is a great thing. If you go to the scoreboard, you can see the team's total points scored by week, and every week these guys have flip-flopped. So who's to say? This is very exciting. Char has DJ Moore on bye this week. Omar has Cole Kmet, Bears defense, and Rome Odunze on bye this week. So nothing big from Omar. Definitely one of Char's better players on bye this week. He gets Kareem Hunt back. I think he's assuming that he has Jonathan Taylor in, who did not practice again today. So we'll see. That guy's never healthy. And Char really needs him to be back. Bills defense should be very good against Tennessee. The Rams defense, I think, is literally ranked last in the NFL, and Omar is playing them this week. So that is a strategy for sure. Good for him. He scored the most points last week, so I'm not going to harp on it too much, but I will be taking Char here. Char over Omar. These teams both need to win. They're both 3-3. I just think Char wants it more. I think maybe he gets JT back this week, but maybe not. So we'll see. It's going to be close. I think this will be a higher scoring game somehow, but I think I'm saying it, and now I want to switch my pick to Omar. But I already wrote it down, so I'm not going to switch it. We're going to go with Char. Okay. Noto and Sean. Noto, let me refresh the page here with ESPN. Noto is about a 1-point favorite, 131 to 130. So This is a good game. Bye week. Neither of these guys have buys, which is awesome. Pacheco obviously injured. Chubb, I think, is coming back this week. And then obviously Puka for Sean. But I mean, I like both these teams. Straight up, I like both these teams. They're both solid. I think Baker's the QB2 on the year. Bijan looks great. James Cook, maybe he comes back this week. He was limited in practice. Tank Dell looks great. Jamar looks great. Trey McBride looks great. Noto's team is pretty deep. He did drop Keenan Allen, who I picked up. I think everyone forgot that he dropped him because he's on bye this week. So that was nice to be able to grab him off the waivers for me personally. Just have him as a nice little backup right there. But Sean, he's got Kamara on Thursday night. They're down Olave. They're down Shaheed. Kamara might catch the ball 15 times this week. He will probably have at least 25. Kenneth Walker's looked great. Scary Terry's been great. Tyreek, we'll see if he can figure it out. He's a wide receiver 38 on the year. He gets Njoku. He's got Jacobs, and then he's got Ramondre against Jacksonville, who should have a really good game. Jordan Love's probably going to eat against Houston this week. They're on their second string DBs, so that's going to be ugly. I think Sean is benching Diggs because they're playing Green Bay. Wouldn't surprise me if Ramondre ends up not playing and he ends up subbing him in. But I also wouldn't surprise me if that's just because Sean loves the Packers so much he's not going to start someone playing against them. This is a really good game. I like both these teams. Obviously, Noto's been on the come up. Sean's in second place. I think Sean's going to take this one just off of Kamara on Thursday night because the Saints don't have anything else. All right, this game, Stern never sets his lineup like early, so it's always incorrect whenever I get here. He still has Caleb Williams in. Obviously, he's on bye, so he's not playing. So Mahomes will sub in for there. I'm assuming he's going to plug Aaron Jones in over Zamir White, but I never know with him. Maybe he plugs Christian Watson in over Khalil Shakir, but again, I don't know with Stern. He's projected for 81 right now. Sky's projected for 124. So Sky's about a 42-point favorite. He's starting Tank Bigsby, which is hilarious. Godwin's been really good. Josh Downs has been fine. Kincaid's been not very good. CD's on bye this week. Olave's hurt. ETN stinks. So I think Sky's team is low-key falling apart a little bit, and I think if he would have not clutched that win out, he would not be playing fantasy football anymore. So it's a good thing he clutched the win out against Log last week. I don't think he's going to have any issues this week. I foresee this being the same type of matchup that I had last week. Super low scoring, super just bad on all fronts. Maybe a 105-80 victory for Sky here, but that's what I'm thinking. I think Sky gets the win. Log and Sammy. Sammy's about a 4-point favorite. Sammy has Dak on bye, but he got Darnold off the waivers, which normally is good, but they're playing Detroit this week, and Detroit's defense has looked awesome. Brees looks like he's back, maybe. Montgomery is awesome. Debo's been good. He hopefully should get Malik Neighbors. Kittle's been the tight end one, and then DK and J.K. Dobbins rounding it out. Texans defense has been good, but they're going up against Green Bay, who's been a buzzsaw. I've said that I don't think Log's team is that good. Jordan Mason banged up. James Conner, I think he got banged up too at the end of the game. Kyler Murray has looked really bad. A-King, probably gets back this week. Cooper, I don't know if he's playing this week. They said he might not be playing. Brock Bowers and A.J. Brown are good. I like those two players from Log. Jets defense against Pittsburgh, that's a good play. I like that, Log. I like what you're putting out there. Sammy, like I said, he's in 8th place, but he's 4th in scoring. I think he gets a much-needed and much-deserved win this week. He definitely needs this. If he drops to 2-5, he basically needs to win out in order to make the playoffs. We'll see. That's going to be Sammy. All right, me and Jackie boy. I don't know if he set his lineup because he's only projected for 106. He has set his lineup except for his defense, which he might just be rocking with the Cowboys defense because he's scared to play a different one because they got him negative last week, which wouldn't really surprise me. Maybe he'll start Anthony Richardson against Miami's defense this week. Who's to say? I don't know. Not me. He got Jerry Jeudy back. Laporta, pretty mid. He's 2-4. He's in 9th place. He does get his 3 best players that back. Joe Mixon is back. B-Rob practiced today. He gets Devontae on the Jets with Aaron Rodgers, so Aaron Rodgers is probably going to force feed him targets. I'm a 38-point favorite right now, and that is before I put Cooper Kupp in if he's playing because he's in my IR slot. So I could potentially be projected for almost 150 points this week, which would be awesome. If you guys go to the scoreboard, you can look at everyone. They was like, oh, which position has the advantage for each one. I have the check mark next to me for every single position, which I don't think's ever happened before. So I'm very excited about that. I will be picking myself here, but I know I've done that like every week, but I've been right most of the time, so I'm not going to apologize for it. If Jack beats me, candidly, I'm more concerned about Jack beating me than I was about Stern beating me and than I was about Log beating me, just because I'm feeling something wacky happening this week. But I'm still going to pick myself. And that's that, I think. I think I kind of hit on all the points. No big trades. Jack and Omar sent back their respective mid receivers. I guess Jerry Judy's the wide receiver one on the Browns now, but they haven't scored more than 20 points, so it is what it is. But as always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. It's always great talking to you guys, and just let's make some trades, man. Let's make some trades.